we're giving the greenhouse a new look. Got this terracotta colored stone. That's what it'll look like when it's dry. And we're gonna spread that across the floor. And the chandelier there can be homemade.
That's gonna be the chandelier.
It's 2 wire baskets that we're gonna put together. We just have to get like a chandelier to kind of place inside of it. So something basic. Something real basic.
So I'm just dumping little piles like this and then I can spread it around and
Like this.
We brought in some of our succulents here. We're gonna be bringing in more. They're talking low 30s. Not tonight, but tomorrow night and the following night. So we're gonna start bringing in our stuff that is very tender. And it's flannel season. My favorite season ever. The last time you guys saw the greenhouse, Jason was just spreading the new gravel, and since then I've gone in there and kind of put my little touch on it so that way we can enjoy it and create our winter sanctuary for this season. So are you guys ready for the reveal?
we're ready.
All right, here we go. What a huge difference that this stone made. And I told Jason, you know, like, why don't we just do a different color stone, because cement in a 24 by 24 space wasn't cheap. So how much did the load of stone cost, Jason?
It was like close to 500,
Okay,
which
and this
is
was like
a
a
fraction of what concrete would
Right,
be.
and this was red granite?
Red granite, yep.
Yep, and then how much of a load was it? How big was it?
This is 4 yards.
4 yards of stone, $500 compared to, you know, probably $3,500 to $4,000 worth of cement. So, and probably a little bit more, because I'd probably want the cement tinted.
Right, yeah, it'd probably be like $6,000, I bet.
Yeah, so this has been a crazy transformation with just the stone. So let's go on in. I'm going to kind of share some of our spaces and why we're creating these spaces right now.
All right.
Over here, I just wanted to create like a little sitting space that we could just sit down, read, enjoy, hang out, maybe tell some ghost stories this time of year. And we brought in 2 of our benches from outside, and then we had this old table in our basement that we haven't used in like 8 years.
Yeah.
So
yep.
I was like, you know what? It's not going to get any other use, so let's just bring it outside. We brought it outside. And it usually has a glass plate that goes in here, but I removed that glass plate and just plopped in a little flower pot, like as if something's growing out of the table. I love a really natural, earthy feel. Even in our own home, I love that. So I wanted to kind of recreate an outdoor garden space, so that way when we're here in Wisconsin during our winters and it's snowy and it's cold, we have somewhere to come and get rid of those winter blues and not even think about those winter blues at all. And here's a shelf that we've had sitting in one of our closets for 3 years. I did not know where to put it or what I was going to do with it, but when I saw it 3 years ago, I knew I had to have it. It just came together really pretty. Just anytime you add something that's just hanging and free moving and swinging in a space, it just adds that really like relaxed, laid back, bohemian feel, especially when there's ropes attached to it. And over here, I couldn't part with my asparagus fern. This guy's been with us since last May. And we brought it into the house actually throughout the winter last year and enjoyed it in the house throughout our seasonal decorating, and it's been with us for a long time. And then these are the eucalyptus that you just saw me pull out of those window boxes in the courtyard. that was in the last video. I'll plop the link right here for you in case you missed that one, and we'll show you how we dug them out with a huge knife and then planted them up pretty successfully so far. So, and then I just went ahead and decorated with, you know, our seasonal decor of mums. I like to use a lot of naturals for decorating, and then over here I wanted to make sure that this year we created a specific space for the potting bench, and I wanted to make sure that I had wall space so that way I had room to kind of like move around here. And it's gonna work out so great as we pot up because I brought in some fun plants. I know this isn't many, but I kept the small little plants that I wanted to keep along with some of our succulents up over here on the wall shelves back there. Those all have to get bumped up. So I made sure to grab some dirt, some pots. So that area is going to get really dirty really quickly here. And I also have some herbs that I want to dig up in the garden as well, which I'll share along the way, a few of the things that I'm going to keep there. So over in this space here, I really wanted to also have a dining space, because one thing that we found that we loved about having the greenhouse last year was having breakfasts and coffee and dinner out here, and it just created this amazing natural feeling and really like filled our souls with the enjoyment of the plants and the earth and just everything that makes you feel good, you know? It just brings back all the good feelings that you have when you're working in the garden during the season. You guys know how that is. That's like a self-therapy. That's what this area brings, and when you're able to bring food intermixed with that self-therapy, it just creates the ultimate ambience and the ultimate spot to relax and hang out with your family. So we already used it this morning, as you can see. The girls were busy. Selah made weep. We showed them videos last year.
Love that weep.
Yeah, living in the greenhouse. They love pulling leaves, different scents, different textures, different flowers, and mixing them together to create like a little natural concoction of whatever. Sometimes it doesn't smell good, sometimes it does, right, Selah? Yeah. Yep, and then Lana made this really pretty little tray, which actually would make a really gorgeous centerpiece. Look how simple, but yet naturally beautiful that is. She wanted to have flowers floating in the water, just like Mommy does during the summertime. And then she also just used my little wooden tray here and just put some little chrysanthemums on there with little touches of the Asparagus Fern. And I just thought it was just so simply beautiful. Like, you could put this on any table and it would be absolutely gorgeous. Like, I'm gonna go put it over here by Fuzzy. Hi, Fuzzy! Fuzzy's been loving the greenhouse too.
Yep.
So even just like setting it right there, look how much it just adds that color, that additional texture. Look at, she's thirsty. No. So this is the eucalyptus plant that you guys probably remember from our last year's winter living in the greenhouse, and we bumped it up this summer and it's really performing well. And in fact, it actually needs to get bumped up again. It's growing super fast, so I wonder how tall it's going to get this winter and how big. So this is definitely a plant to watch and follow over the winter.
See if it's going to hit the ceiling this year, huh?
I'm super excited about that. Yeah, you know, you never know.
That'd be
I don't
cool.
know how tall this is going to get. This one was by Proven Selections, and it was, what was it called again? Steel Tower.
Steel Tower, yep.
Steel Tower. But my other two eucalyptus plants are just the silver drop, and we self-seeded those not last year but the year before in the house actually. So one thing I wanted to add out here was a little space where the kids could play pretend without toys. And we had this, we always kept it in our foyer, and we would use it mainly for when, you know, trick-or-treating started, and we would put all the snacks on here, so when the kids came to the door, we had them available, and it just looked like a cute little display to, you know, pop that candy into those bags. And I'm like, you know what, this year we're gonna bring it out here and let the kids just play pretend. And so far they've been playing store, they've been playing restaurant, and it's been really fun to watch them because they don't have toys. They have like things that we've grown outdoors, like pumpkins, gourds. They're using leaves and plants and grabbing pots, filling them with random things and pretending like it's stuff. And that's that's really important with your children. Like, toys are good because they do help, you know, kids learn how to use their imagination, but when you eliminate the toys and make them use what they have around them that's natural, that is really, really pushing their imagination, and that's what's the most important for their development. And we find that the kids don't fight when they are playing with the natural elements rather than when they're playing with toys. So over here is that succulent container that we planted this year. It's that succulent lantern. It's super cool.
I love that.
Starting to grow in. And you can put a beautiful candle in the center, or you can even put a beautiful little vase in the center with flowers poofing out. But I wanted to hang it in here cute, like it should be. And I put it over by the kids section because I figure, how cute will that be when we come out here at nighttime, put a little candle in there and it'll, you know, light up their little play area. And so I originally wanted to use these baskets to plant up and hang in here. But then when we were like talking about our chandelier, all of a sudden I was just like, at first I just thought these are super heavy, but just one of them I thought, what if you just hung them in the sitting areas as light fixtures? But then when I was looking up there, I'm like, we need a really big light fixture to really stand out. And once we added the stone color, my designer wheels were spinning. I'm like, okay, so if there's that color on the floor, wouldn't it be beautiful to raise this color hugely going up? And that's when I came to the decision. I put one on top of the other, and I'm like, here we go, we got this beautiful rusty sphere to go up there. So that'll be another Jason project.
Yep, yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that one because it's gonna be the crown jewel of the greenhouse here.
Yep. And then, you know, like always, we have our shelves, and we have things that need to be potted up and bumped up. A lot of our succulents are way outgrowing their little pots that they're in right now. So yeah, I mean, we just brought in a few things, not too much, and I like it a little bit cleaner. And we can always add by, you know, self seeding a few things, or getting some seasonal flowers. Like for Christmas, well, we can go and grab, you know, maybe a few poinsettias and add those into here. And so one other thing I want to talk on too is in our greenhouse, like for me, our greenhouse isn't just the place for us to come and play and eat. It's also a place where I consider it like a peaceful sanctuary, and I like to do a lot of meditation. And for me, this is like the perfect place to connect with, you know, nature and be one with nature. And so I'm a smudger, so I always love smudging. We love smudging white sage, and right now we don't grow our own, but the smell of sage for me is very calming. It's relaxing, it's cleansing, it's like a renewal. This winter we are actually going to be starting to seed start a lot of our own white sage. I hope you guys enjoyed this little greenhouse tour, turning it into our winter sanctuary, and we'll share along the way because we still got stuff in the garden. So I'm gonna take you guys on a walk over here. So the past 2 nights we've been down to about 34, 33 degrees. It's once we get below 32 degrees is kind of when everything starts looking really not so great. So come on, what's going on?
trying to capture everything.
Okay. Alright, so I'm going to take you guys over to the herb garden because today I'm going to dig out some herbs, and I'll just show you what I'm going to dig out. Well, right here we've got a lot of parsley. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and cut a lot of it down, wash it up, put it in freezer safe Ziploc bags, put it in the freezer, and as I need it, I'll take it out for soups or any recipes in the crock pot. That's how I use my parsley throughout the season. I'm also going to go ahead and dig out some of our sage here. We've got the lemon balm, we've got the lime basil. So this got crazy. This was that cypress vine that we seed started this year and planted, and just like took over.
I love that.
Posts. It's just absolutely awesome. And we've got the rosemary right here. So I'm also going to yank out some rosemary. When I do dig them out and plant them up, I will go ahead and cut them like at least halfway down, so that way it allows them to kind of get some new fresh growth. I like to keep a lot of herbs on hand because the girls love to make those little wheat concoctions, and I also love to just enjoy the smell throughout the house or in our foods and all kinds of different ways. But that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be digging herbs so that way I don't lose them to the 32 degrees coming.
Yeah.
So, yep, got lots of peppermint and the mojito mint. And look at these flowering kales. Look how gorgeous. I know I talked about these in the last video, but I just can't stop. Sorry.
They like this cold though. They
Yes.
they're really popping
They
now.
do. They love it. Oh, and then our wall here. You guys, look at this.
Yeah, the wall is still doing great.
I think it's because it's so protected by the house.
Yeah.
It stays warm because of that dark color really absorbs the heat.
Right, that's
Which
definitely.
I think it retains it, and that's what kind of saves all of this stuff, because usually by now the potato vine would be struggling a little bit, because this one over here kind of starting to get like that wilty leaf, and it is not dry. That's just how it starts getting once it starts getting cooler. And it's a pretty tender annual for cool weather. And another sad thing, you guys, we aren't going to save the banana tree. We're just going to kind of let it do its thing this year. We've enjoyed it for the past 2 years, but we're ready to move on and try something else.
It's just too big to bring in.
Too big, yeah. And I don't even know where we would put it in there for right now, because we eventually transition our greenhouse from living in it like that to actually growing everything for our garden in it. So there wouldn't be enough room to, you know, get everything going and started for next season with, you know, the banana tree. But it's given us so much, and we've thanked it, and we've given it so much love and attention, and there's really nothing else we can do for it. So I do feel bad though. I have a
know.
feeling once this video
Maybe
I'm
I'll
gonna be rolling it in.
yeah. Maybe I'll sleep out here with it tonight, just a little bit more comfort for it.
I do feel bad. I am like
It is awesome
emotionally-
though. I mean,
I'm emotionally attached to our banana tree, you know. But
this planter looks like its own little tropical island with
I
that.
know, it does. But yeah, we usually save a lot more, but I'm not going to. Last year we had to deal with a lot of bad bugs, you know, thrips and aphids and all of that stuff. And this year I just really don't want to be working too hard during November and December battling bugs. You know, I kind of feel like I need that break to really re-energize myself for the next season and for the creativity, because we didn't do that last year, and I felt a little bit of a burnout this year, and I don't want to feel that, because I love gardening and I love sharing with all of you anything I can that will help you. And in order to do that, I kind of need that November and December time of just enjoying what we have, and not trying to overextend myself, you know. I think that's one thing we've learned this year, don't you?
Definitely, absolutely. I'm looking at this, and this is an amazing picture. So I'm gonna have you step back, and I'm gonna get a picture of you.